Yahoo, Mina! What's it like in some of your local shops that sell second-hand video games, especially those selling retro games? I guess it's probably a few shelves dominated by endless copies of franchise sports games, all at ridiculously cheap prices. And then there'll be some of those hallowed glass cabinets full of expensive trinkets that sold in much smaller numbers. Even in Japan, the days of when I could walk out of a store having paid 110 yen for a copy of Axley or contra-free bots for 2,000 yen are long gone. But sports games are usually cheap, as rarely do they transcend their release timeframe and become all-time classics. Enter Honoo no Toukyuuji Dodge Danpei, or Dodge Danpei as I'll shorten it to, which was a popular manga and anime franchise back in the late 80s and early 90s. The manga told the story of Ichigeki Danpei, a kid who loves dodgeball so much that he joins the dodgeball club when he starts elementary school, which makes him really quite a young protagonist at just 6 years old.
お前、ドッジボールって知ってるか？
ドッジボール？はい、それはベースボール。それはバスケットボール。で、それはダンボール。
Along with the franchise's popularity in the early 90s, video games soon followed for the Famicom and Super Famicom via Sunsoft, Game Boy and PC Engine via Hudson Soft, and today's game, which came from Sega themselves and is therefore an overdue debut on a rubbish heap for the Mega Drive. Back in the Famicom days, a runaway success for the system was 1987's Nekketsu Koukou Dodgeball-bu, or as you may know it, Super Dodgeball, featuring Kunio-kun and friends. With arcade gameplay sensibilities and exaggerations, Technos dodgeball game was a massive hit, and Dodge Danpei on a Mega Drive takes on from that. In Japan, this as yet untranslated into English game is a low-key but well-respected game, respected enough in fact to earn a place on the Japanese Mega Drive Mini too. It might be worth me explaining the rules of dodgeball, well at least how I played it in Japan as a break or lunchtime game anyway. Two teams face each other on a court with a centre dividing line. The objective is to throw the ball and hit a member of the opposing team. If they catch it or dodge it, they're safe, but if they're hit, they will join the opposing team's side on the court on the outfield. The ball can be passed to players on the outfield as well to allow them to take a shot at the opposing team's members. Naturally, the team whose players are all knocked out lose. There are plenty of variations of dodgeball, official rules and the likes, which, to be honest, I don't know. But at least the way I played it at school seems similar to how Dodge Danpei plays, bar one difference depending on the game options. The game is split into 4 play modes: single-player story, single-player match, 2-player match, and league play, along with a training mode to hone your timing on catches and super shots. In any play mode, each team starts with 7 players, 4 on a court to start, and as players are knocked out, a player is subbed in to keep the numbers up. However, once 4 players have been sent to the outfield, you'll have reducing numbers of players on the court, and should all players be sent to the outfield, that team loses. In 1-player or 2-player mode, you can choose your team including Dodge Danpei's Tamagawa Shogakko team, or elementary school team. You have 2 basic play options, knockout and regulation. Knockout works a bit like Nekketsu Koukou Dodgeball on the Famicom or Super Dodgeball. Each player has a life meter, so it's not necessarily the case that one hit and they're out, but depending on the player's stats, it takes a number of hits for them to be sent to the outfield. The other option is Koshiki, or regulation rules, where 1 hit and the player is out, and this is much more aligned to standard dodgeball rules. As mentioned, each player has stats, so you can arrange your initial players according to the strengths you want to put in place. These stats include strength, defense, speed, jump height, shot power, and catch power. And then it's just a matter of playing the match. The controls are very easy to master, though the timing for catches and super shots will take a few matches to get used to. Controls can be changed in the options screen, but by default, when attacking, A passes or picks up the ball, B shoots or picks up the ball, and C jumps, and can be used in combination with shots. When defending, A crouches, B catches when timed just before a ball hits you, and C jumps. In addition, when in possession of the ball, the start button can activate a formation attack, which can be used up to 3 times per match, allowing an automatic passing between players, and hitting B will unleash the attacking shot. The last key control is dashing, which is achieved with a double left or right tap, and that's all of the controls. The key really is timing. Catches like in Nekketsu Koukou Dodgeball have to be timed just before your player is hit, so you can't hold down B in anticipation for too long. Super shots can be achieved by holding down B for just about the right amount of time, and when the ball glows, you can unleash a shot that is almost guaranteed to strike a player down when paired with a dash and jump. Passes and shots also take some account of the direction pad's input at the same time, so be careful or you may pass to the opposing outfield players. In order to get the timing down on these, the game offers two simple but effective training modes to practice the timing of catches and super shots, which all new players should give, a shot. Talking of shots, just as in actual dodgeball, when in possession, a pass or a shot has to be played within 30 seconds. Although I'm sure we always played a 15-second rule in real life. Is that a thing or is it just something at my schools? Anyway, failure to do so will result in the possession being forfeited, and likewise crossing the centre line or outfield line in possession of the ball will forfeit it as well. After a few matches, you'll soon start to pick up the controls and find them very intuitive. In one-player mode, the computer AI is actually really rather good, with different teams having different difficulties. But in two-player mode, like in any competitive sports game like this, it really comes alive, and Sega's arcade sensibilities shine through in this fast, well-paced game that suffers no sprite flicker, no slowdown, and has an enjoyable FM synth soundtrack, evoking a classic Sega arcade vibe. Story mode is a single-player campaign against teams of rising difficulty, along with some excellent artwork that is very befitting of the manga and holds up really well in my book. Sure, it's pixelated, but come on, you're listening to a review about a Japan-only dodgeball game on a 16-bit console released over 30 years ago. No one here is expecting high-definition artwork, are they? I think it's really charming anyway. This is where I need to catch up with those of you who might be trying this as SNES drunk might describe any way you can, because this is one of the few Mega Drive cups to use something called SRAM saves, not battery backed up saves, which means that on some flash cartridges on real hardware such as an EverDrive X3 or X5, you may find that you can't save your progress in story mode as it will lock up the game. This also affects the League mode as well. Sadly, the only workaround at the present for those with such a device in this game is just don't save, and unfortunately the League mode is off the cards completely. Talking of a League mode, this is available for up to 6 teams to take part, though each player takes control of the whole team, meaning it remains a 2-player experience, though potentially available for up to 6 competitors, if that makes sense. Each team can be assigned either player or computer. I can imagine this being a lot of fun back in the day, setting up a league with your buddies and then taking your precious well-worn-down Mega Drive cartridge to their houses after school to play the next round of the league until a champion is crowned. Now that's real social media. The only problem is that the Mega Drive wasn't exactly number 1 in Japan, but hey, I still think this mode was a lot of fun and still could be. Summing up, Honoo no Toukyuuji Dodge Danpei is, in my book, one of the unsung Mega Drive games, at least in English-speaking media. There doesn't appear to be any translation patch, unfortunately, for it, but I provided a summary of the menu items in a Patreon post linked in this video's description. Compared to some Japanese Mega Drive cartridges, it's not the most expensive game you'll find for the system if you want the real deal. There is a Dodge Danpei game on the Super Famicom which follows a similar formula to the Mega Drive game, but it was developed by Sunsoft at a time when they were transitioning back towards their Kusoge roots. To be fair, Dodge Danpei on the Super Famicom is a fine enough game. It just lacks something that the Mega Drive game has. The graphics are still great, and the controls are similar, but it follows the regulation rules so far as I played, and the story, though beautifully illustrated in that game, drags on a bit between matches. I haven't looked at it properly, I'll be honest, but it's by far the cheaper game cartridge when buying cartridge only, but I'm fairly confident in saying the Mega Drive game is better. Sports games that manage to stay relevant long after their release are rare indeed, and Dodge Danpei on a Mega Drive is one of them for me. It's a lot of fun to play, especially with friends, and comes highly recommended. For me, this gets a great rating, as it embodies a type of game experience that they can excel in. Fun, competitive, and a way of bringing friends together. Talking of which...
Hey everybody, gosh, it's been a hot minute.
I've invited Kaito back, well, Rather, he invited himself back when he heard about this week's review.
Yeah, well, see, this is a game that I really love. Back in the day, I used to play this a lot with my friends, and it was a great game.
So you'd agree with my assessment?
Definitely. I mean, it seems a bit strange for me to just agree with everything you say, but I am much more of a pick-up-and-play gamer, whereas I know, Saki, despite your brash exterior, hold on, you're down with story, strategy, and taking your time with games. So for me, Dodge Danpei is right up my street.
Whoa, row back right there. Brash. Who you calling brash, punk?
Well, come on. You're hardly a shrinking violet, are you?
Well, that's fighting talk, bunny man. Game on. Haha, in your face.
Give me a chance.
And another one. Boof. He's got a hand like a traction engine.
Pride before a fall, Saki. Well, dat. My ball.
What about your ball?
Not the time for puns, Saki. Stop dodging.
Dude, that's literally the game.
Oh, it's even.
Not for long.
Concentrate.
See, this is the thing, viewers. Kaito is like a DOS PC. One task at a time.
Yeah, Tutu.
No!
Yes, kiss my face.
Damn, dude, you're good at this game.
Well, time for me to flex some skills, huh?
Yeah, well, see, this is a game that really comes alive with other players and leans into what the Rubbish Heap is all about for me. It's not necessarily about finding the best version of a game or talking about the technical details, or worse still, arguing about gaming-related drama, as I like to professionally call it, bollocks.
There you go. Brash, but also right.
So when we started this channel, it was very much a collaborative effort between us presenting, the patrons who support us, and also our viewers. It was all about the joy of gaming. Yes, we do find stinkers from time to time, but it's mostly all about the joy of gaming, the good side of it. For me, the pinnacle of this good time vibe when it comes to gaming on TV is Game Center CX in Japan, which never fails to bring a smile to my face. For us, Dodge Danpei is a good time game, and yeah, there are plenty of games with much more spectacular visuals, deeper stories, amazing mechanics, mind-blowing soundtracks, and all of the rest. But any game that evokes the feel-good vibe will get a thumbs up from us, and this game is one you shouldn't dodge.
That was a really lame pun.
As always, like, subscribe and all of that shit, and also check out this rad Rubbish Heap merch, available worldwide on Redbubble and Amazon. See the links below for how to purchase. I've been Saki Endo, and this has been a Rubbish Heap. じゃあねーね。
ついにメガドライブで新登場。シュート、スピード、チーム数、フォーメーション攻撃、すべてが違う。こいつは一枚上手だぜ。メガドライブドッジ弾平。